good rhyme that you read. Take my hand and tell me there's no other way, there's no other way. Look deep into my eyes and say that it's okay, say that it's okay. I say that there's just gotta be another way, be another way. 'Cause deep down we know we're not okay, no we're not okay. So let's do this. Let's do this. Change the world. Change the world. Change the world. Make it a better place. Better place. For our kids, our family, our friends. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? 'Cause I'm tired of waiting. Tired. Take my hand and tell me there's no other way. There's no other way. Look deep into my eyes and say that it's okay. Say that it's okay. I say that there's just gotta be another way. Be another way. 'Cause deep down we know we're not okay. No, we're not okay. Not okay.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl RawNé, and you are tuning into Rise and Shine 209, the voice of Joaquin and Stockton's morning show. Hey, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. We are here with Lara, the owner of Bamboo Lounge. How are you doing this morning?
I am doing excellent. Thank you.
Awesome. And for everybody who's tapping and tuning in today, good morning. Thank you for joining us. I want to apologize to you guys. You guys saw, and you guys were ready at 9 o'clock. We're moving a little bit later, but we're here, and we have so much information to share with you.
Absolutely. And I'm ready.
I'm going to put these headphones on, so I'm going to just be listening to levels. I thought I was going to not need them, but here we go.
Totally fine.
All right, so you guys are in for a treat because we have something new in our area, and I think it's kind of one of its kind. You think?
It is, definitely.
Definitely. Very exciting.
Definitely.
So it's something new, something that we find in other places of California, and there's maybe some other places, even Colorado, that may have these, and as well as maybe Washington. But we're going to talk about what we have going on here with Kay.
Here in the Valley.
Yes.
Yes, it is necessary. So my name is Kay. I am the owner and curator of the Bamboo Lounge, which is the first ever wellness center that merges cannabis use, and we fuse that with a various of different activities that are in alignment with your mind, body, and soul. So we have paint therapy, cannabis yoga. We've done cooking with cannabis classes, and an array of other classes and events, but they are all wrapped around the infusion of cannabis and these various activities.
And so I like the term that you use, canna-curious. So when you are reaching out to people or opening up the door, opening up the avenue and the lane for people to come your direction if they otherwise wouldn't.
Yes.
What would you tell our viewers and listeners who they hear cannabis yoga? You know, what is this? You know, cannabis.
Yeah. So I coined the phrase "canna-curious" because there are people that are cannabis users or cannabis consumers, I should say, because they have to be. There are cannabis consumers that want to be, and then you get the people in the middle that are canna-curious. They have heard stories of individuals healing themselves via cannabis, and they've also heard the stories of individuals that may have consumed too much, and they want to try it for whatever reason. And I am always welcome to educating individuals on how the plant is a healing plant and how we can use it in our lives to heal our minds, our bodies, and our spirits. So I welcome anyone that even may not necessarily be a cannabis consumer at this moment. They are more than welcome to come and experience any classes and events that we have and not feel pressured to consume. And then if maybe they get there and they choose to consume, they will definitely be welcomed with open arms, not just by myself, but by my tribe as well. Yeah.
And so do you get a lot of newcomers?
So I do. What I will say is a huge percentage of the tribe that I have are people that started following me in the very beginning. And that's why I refer to them as my tribe. They are stationary. They have a place at the lounge. And then they bring in newcomers as well. So with that being said, while we have a home, it's a home that is still open and large enough to welcome others as well. Yeah.
And your space you have remains anonymous.
Correct. And there's a reason for that. And it's because everyone knows of the stigma that is unfortunately attached to cannabis. And it's important for me that the individuals that are coming to the lounge feel that they have a safe place of security and privacy to be able to self-medicate. There are legalities that I have on my end as far as paperwork that I have individuals sign when they come into the lounge, because we pride ourselves on making sure individuals microdose while they're at the lounge, which is consuming a small amount and reaping the benefits of that versus overconsumption. And then that's where we get the phrases like being high and stoner and things like that. And it's part of my responsibility to kill those stigmas and let individuals know that if you are responsible with your consumption, just as you may be with anything, gambling, alcohol, any of those things, that if you are responsible with your consumption, you can have a more enlightening experience, if you will. Yeah.
Now, some of the pictures that you have, and you do have social media, so people can follow you.
I do.
I'll put that up for you guys.
I do.
Well, actually, I'm not going to go back and forth.
Totally fine. But we're on Instagram, Facebook, and we're building our YouTube channel as well. So that is Bambuddha Lounge, BAMBUDDHA LOUNGE 209. That's Facebook. And then Bambuddha Lounge on Instagram as well as YouTube.
So I'm putting up some notes there for you guys. Bambuddha Lounge 209.
Thank you. Thank you. Give my shout out.
Yes, we'll definitely get more information in there if you guys have, such as Eventbrite.
Yes.
So more information such as Eventbrite. So most of your events they can find on Eventbrite.
Correct.
And they would want to search by the name.
They can search by Bambuddha Lounge, or literally the URL is www.bambuddhaLounge.eventbrite.com.
So
www.bambuddhaLounge.eventbrite.com. And with that search, you can find a list of all of our classes that we have posted for the month of January. I typically don't like to post too many classes too far out. It just kind of keeps that supply and demand, if you will.
Yes, definitely.
So, yeah.
And your guys' events are really well put together as far as your instructors. And let's talk about the tribe.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's talk.
Love my tribe. It's definitely something that has been instilled in me. I guess you can say it's part of my genetic makeup, whether it's my ancestors or whoever. But I have never been one to try and build something so large on my own. You know, most of you viewers are probably familiar with the show Survivor. And when you're on this island, everyone plays their part. and the individuals that don't play their part well get kicked off the island.
Right.
It's no more different than that. In the sacred space that I have created, that I have created, that is my lounge, and it's not something that I take complete ownership of. The creativity behind it and the frequency that we put out, totally in charge of that. But I know that I can't do this on my own, so I have built a community, a tribe of individuals that do very well in their expertise, whether it's Yogi Michelle and her yoga and bringing that, infusing that with the cannabis, whether it's Queen Simone and her knowledge of healing people with herbs, whether it's Queen Osiris that has a lot of information on essential oils and bath bombs and all of those sorts of things, and as well as you, myself, my queen, in regards to the natural soaps and products that one may use versus some of those things that are on the shelves. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I definitely think that the tribe that is growing, and I want to say the audience in a sense, but it's the audience, but then also the group and the people among everybody in the world who can gravitate, but then to share the goodness of it, and what that is for people who choose the cannabis route.
Yeah, and even, like I said, even if you don't, the lounge is definitely a space for anyone that is just trying to heal themselves, mind, body, and spirit.
Yes.
Cannabis is just an additive, but it's not necessary.
Right.
I let people choose their own lane, but the people that are coming to this sacred space are individuals that want to heal in any capacity. Maybe in all three. There are some individuals that are so broken that they need all three, and that's fine. And they can get that via one class. They can get that via a multitude of classes, or coming to an event. But there's never been a situation where someone has left out of my sacred space and didn't feel loved and healed and feel a sense of self-care just for those few hours. And that's why my retention is so strong, because individuals catch that vibe and they want to be able to experience that again.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when you say that the cannabis is not necessary, I think this is important for people to know.
Absolutely.
Because it is a cannabis lounge, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to consume, and that is
Correct.
very much stressed there.
Correct. And, I tell people that they have to find, if they want to try cannabis, or maybe they are already a consumer, that they have to find the form of cannabis that fits their lifestyle.
Yes.
Smoking is not for everyone.
Not for
Topicals
everybody.
that you put on your skin is not for everyone.
Right.
Vaping is not for everyone. But because the cannabis industry has grown so much with the knowledge and the resources and the tools, people have a lane that they can pick that resides with their lifestyle. Me, I do it all. But that's just me. There's other individuals that may not choose to smoke because of whatever reason, or, you know what I mean? So I just tell people, find the form of cannabis that fits your lifestyle. And with all of the classes and events that we have at the lounge, 90% of the time there is a cannabis company there that will provide the knowledge of their particular product and or services. So people are not just walking away with a sense of being able to let loose for those 2 hours or more, or being able to unwind.
Right.
You're also getting those healing aspects, and you're also walking away with knowledge.
Yes.
So the return on investment that you pay for your ticket, or whether it's a class or an event, it is priceless.
Yes.
It is priceless, because it is definitely, you were talking about that ripple effect. It is that sense of throwing a pebble into a pond and watching it ripple. That is what I am giving to the people that are coming into my space.
Yes, and you capture that well when you say that you're investing in yourself.
Absolutely.
When you're letting people
Absolutely.
know that
You're not investing in me.
right, you're letting people know in the information that they're getting when you see it on Eventbrite, that it is an investment in yourself. It's a self-investment. So
Absolutely.
I think it's absolutely amazing that you're able to bring into the space, in a sacred space, where people can have that healing and use a modality that will assist them to get there. Because a lot of, and just to kind of say, where people who are alcoholics, in a sense, they use it in a negative way, but try to heal by burying themselves. They're not really healing, but the hiding and masking.
That's that onion with all those layers on it. I'm about stripping those onions,
Right,
and
so
letting
coming
people
into
be
your space.
completely vulnerable, They're in this private place. They're in a safe place. They're in a place where everybody that is there, they have one goal, and that is to heal.
Yes.
Typically, when you walk outside of any other place, everyone has their own goals.
Yes.
But the goal at the lounge is to heal.
And so that's an absolutely amazing thing to have and to bring to the community, because it is not that typical, hey doc, I'm not feeling well, I'm going through some things, I need a psychiatrist, I need a
Correct.
psychologist. This is a way where, they might put you on medication.
Correct.
This
That's what they typically do.
is a place where they can go as an alternative.
Absolutely.
So investing in yourself to say, hey, I don't really want to go see a doctor that's only going to prescribe me medication, send me on my way, and not really care about what I'm doing.
Correct.
This is a growing space for all of your healing.
Correct.
With people that you can be comfortable and safe around.
And typically and I have to give this disclaimer, because I know how people do. They get on social media and they get to wilding out saying, Kay said this. I'm going to be completely honest. If you feel like you need to go see a doctor, go see a doctor.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's true.
I am by no means a doctor, and I don't want to be a doctor. But what I will tell you is I'm an absolute healer. And that is on the books.
Yes.
Because I have legit testimony, not just from myself, but from the people that I deal with on a regular basis, whether that's professionally or personally. And with a doctor, the referral that they're going to give you is going to send you 3 different ways. They're going to send you to go and get your medicine. They're going to send you to talk to somebody, whether that be via a psychiatrist or a psychologist. You get all that at my space. All of it.
That's
Right?
absolutely true.
And I would like to mention that when you come into this space, you bring your own cannabis, but there is a limited amount. We have very, very strict rules. This is not a place for you to come and overly consume, right? But you bring what fits your lifestyle, whether that is topicals, whether that is a tincture oil, whether that is vaping or smoking. So you're coming with your own goods, and then I'm giving you the knowledge to be able to pair that and have this holistic experience.
And the activities that go along with it,
Yeah.
which I think is a great thing, because a lot of times people need to have that activity for a release. And so
Absolutely.
you're getting into allowing people to get into their expressive and creative routes, which is a big form and a help for healing.
Yes, and
which
people don't realize that.
They really don't.
Yeah. Music does that.
Absolutely.
All different forms of art does that, whether it's painting, self-expression through dancing.
Yes.
These are all different ways that people release. So if you don't have that as a hobby or as a career, if you're not flexing that muscle on a regular, then how do you express yourself?
Right.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of people can become stagnant within themselves.
Correct.
Because creative energy is a healing energy.
Absolutely.
It's
Absolutely.
very strong. So having that in your space is a great way to get people and to introduce them to the different ways that they can come to healing and finding those things. So I know that they can go to Eventbrite. We know that they can go to Eventbrite.
Yes.
They can come there. But let's talk about a little bit more and get deeper into.
Let's do it.
You
I'm
know,
all about going deep.
this
Let's do it.
Bambuda Lounge, and yes, we want to definitely help. We're helping with the healing.
Yeah.
But for beyond what we're all standing for the education and for the creation
Yes.
and self-expression and release, let's talk about the purpose of advocacy here.
Let's do it.
Because not only are you allowing something that you've taken from a sacred space within yourself and your
Yeah,
home,
absolutely.
and you've kind of grown that with a public so that everybody can kind of understand where they can find themselves in the world
Yes.
with what they're doing. But let's just kind of take it back into your own sacred place and space and family and time. Why you're bringing, what you stand for,
Why
what you
I'm
advocate.
sharing with the
Yes,
world.
and what you advocate for.
I always tell people that, happiness is definitely meant to be shared. I've never met someone that is filled with happiness, filled with joy, and didn't want to share it. That's not, it's almost like an oxymoron. It can't happen.
Yeah, that's true. It can't happen.
And my son was diagnosed at the age of 3 with the autism spectrum disorder. And with ASD comes a multitude of things, both mentally and physically that can impair an individual. So this is a 3-year-old individual. So my level of advocacy was already there as a parent, just on a surface, just as a parent. And you, as a parent, you try to do all that you can when your child is not feeling well mentally or physically. And because I am such a spiritual person, I have to add in that it is also my role to make sure that my son is well spiritually as well. And with his diagnosis, there was a long line of things that could have been offered to him. Prescription medication and various activities to try and counter those what I call abilities, some may call disabilities. And it was important for me, because I live such a holistic lifestyle, to not, or maybe I should say, to put my son in alignment with the morals and values that I stand on, that have gotten me this far. So the concept of the lounge stems from him. I owe everything to him, and I bow down to him every day. He was not given his name, by mistake. And with the diagnosis, that was already hard in itself. So then comes, okay, how do we fix this? Yeah. So myself and his father came to a meeting of the minds and decided 2 years thereafter, after doing a lot of research, to look into cannabis. It was, I guess you could say, the last option, if you will. And at that time, my son was dealing with heavy constipation, a real huge lack of focus and attention span, eye contact, and just really having a hard time connecting the dots in his mind mentally, what is transpiring and all the moving parts in one head, and how do we get that and start moving physically. And this is a child that's dealing with this. So as a parent, you see the struggle, and it's just like, what can I do? And by any means necessary, I will do what it takes to heal my son. So we made a decision collectively as a family to start administering cannabis to him. And what I will say is there was a complete detox that was done prior to that. He was already receiving therapy, ABA treatment. So those boxes had been checked. So now what else can we do?
Right. Because he was still exuding the same.
Correct. So we linked up with a gentleman. Hey, Jason David.
Shout outs.
Right. He is the owner of Jaden's Journey, which is a dispensary out in Modesto. And he has a product called Jaden's Juice. And I felt like I couldn't do no wrong, because this was a parent as well that was in total alignment with me, someone that was trying to heal their child. So I tried this product, and what I will say is you have to be very, very responsible with, this is a medication. So you have to, it's your responsibility to track how you're feeling. It's your responsibility to track your dosage, to track your mood swings, all of those different things. So I got a journal, and I kept track of all the moving parts with my son. And it was very difficult, because at that time he was 5, and unfortunately his speech and language was very, very limited. So he was not going to be able to tell me how he was feeling.
Right.
So I'm very much so at that time in an observing kind of space, watching mood swings, but keeping track of what he had consumed for the day.
Right.
And we just started out with a tincture oil, which is nothing more than cannabis infused with coconut oil, just a couple of drops underneath his tongue. And, people say, well, I've seen this happen before, and maybe they did a Photoshop or they cut this. Nah. This is real. And I watched the transformation immediately happen with my son. And he's now 11, and he is still a cannabis consumer. There was no way that I was going to have my son consuming a plant that I wasn't going to consume.
Right.
So that's what started me on my journey. So we self-medicate together on a daily basis. He understands that it is medicine. He has a great respect for the plant. So he is also going to be an advocate as well, because he is his own testimony.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So how has he come along with his schooling and being able to focus with his speech?
Speech and language it's like night and day, because I literally had a doctor tell me before he was diagnosed, he was 2, and I had a physician tell me that more than likely your son's not going to talk.
No way.
And we're not going to name drop that doctor, but
Right.
needless to say, he's not the physician of my son anymore.
That part.
But what I will say is, people take no for an answer a lot of times, and people, because you have this hierarchy, so you assume that because this physician has been in medical school for so long, we kind of look at them as gods and goddesses. That's
Wrong.
That's wrong at my house.
Just
we don't
wrong.
do that. People are people. And while one may have a higher knowledge of the medical industry, if you will, what that physician did not have over me was the knowledge of healing. He
Yeah.
did not have that over me. He has the knowledge to be able to prescribe
And recommend.
right? But I have the knowledge of healing. I am
Right.
a woman. That is what I do.
Yes.
And I do it well.
you're your child's mother. I love the way that you put that he is mine.
Absolutely.
He is mine, and I am the one in charge of him until
Absolutely.
he is ever in charge of himself.
Well, right. And when he gets there, then I'm going to need him to take care of me.
Yeah.
So I take care of him very well, because I understand how karma works. And what you put out, you shall return and come back to you. So I take care of my son very well.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And so for that reason, with you being such an advocate, what would you say to other mothers who have not been finding a peace with the physicians that they've been maybe bouncing around to, and or the types of medications that they have been prescribed to their child? And I've heard other conversations. I don't ever say anything, but I listen to people's conversations
and
and
step on nobody's toes.
the medications,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
that people are giving to their children because of what has been prescribed or
Correct.
suggested to them
Correct.
by doctors.
This is my overall suggestion. If someone has prescribed something to you, a physician, a holistic doctor, and you try it, right? Whether it's yourself or for your child. If it's working and you don't see any major side effects, kudos to you. Do you?
Side effects.
But I'm talking about watching the movement of oneself, not just physically,
Growing,
but mentally and spiritually.
Yes.
And if that medication is impeding on any of that, then it's probably not right. I'm also very mindful of how prescription medications, taking one can lead to another.
Yes.
And unfortunately, people feel like cannabis falls within that same thing, that if you consume cannabis, that you'll lead to something else.
Right.
And I'm here to tell you that that is not the truth.
That is not.
But that's a whole nother story. But in regards to
My goodness.
prescription medication, like I said, some people need to be on prescription medication. They just need to be, right?
It works for them.
It works for them. I'm just letting people know that there are options.
Yes,
And if
and
you
that's what it
choose
is.
not to take prescription medication, if you want to try something holistically, there are options out there. There are holistic doctors out there. But don't be lazy with your health. Don't be lazy with your health. Don't assume that because you have paid your copay and you go see this physician that has gone to school for 8 to 10 years that they have the remedy for you.
Right.
Because they're probably giving you the same remedy that the other appointments that came in prior to you arriving and the ones that came thereafter, everyone will get the same remedy. We are all different beings. We
Yes.
come from different walks of life. We have different experiences. We have different things that we are trying to achieve. So customize your life.
Which is why it's
through-
so important.
Absolutely. So that's why I choose to do things more holistically. It's because I know I am very different from everyone else, and so is my son. But I always tell people, the disclaimer is, you have to do what's best for you and your lifestyle and you and the people in your life. This is what works for me and my son and my tribe. So if you with us, you with us. If you're not, no hard feelings. It's all good.
And I think it's absolutely amazing. So now that we talk about being an advocate for the youth and knowing that this is a medicine that you utilize within your family and that you recommend to others to really take a good look and observation of what's going on in your own world, your own life, to see if you've been kind of curious and you kind of want to see what that would be for you guys, you can take some pointers if that's what you're looking to do with detoxing and things of that nature. But it's a process.
Absolutely.
So it's not something you want to just jump into. It's definitely a process, but it's a great process once you get started.
Absolutely.
If that works for you guys, and it depends, and as Kay has said, it really depends on your health and how you're monitoring that, so you have to really pay close attention to the side effects, observations of what changed, what didn't change, and it's very important. So we're going to tie that all back in, bringing it back to the Buddha Lounge.
Yes.
So Bamboo Lounge has the space where you're allowing people. So I'm gonna give shout out to Doug, people like Doug. To come in and have their questions and be able to host and hold events to where other people might be open and having questions in the same respect. So let's talk about some of these kinds of events that you have. So you have an annual event that you do.
I do have an annual event. This is a shout out to my ladies, because I have my own philosophy as to where the world will be if we let women be in charge, but we're not going to get on that right now. I come from a very strong matriarchal background. That's what we do. And there have been very minimal rips in what we stand for, and our foundation is very strong because of that. And then the men within that, our family, they play their role as protectors and providers. So my family is very strong because they understand the roles that the men and the women play in the household. But with that being said, the lounge is a space where individuals can definitely curate a class, right? Or an event. And I wanted to bring a group of women together to empower them with the knowledge that they have of being healers. So that event is called High Tea. Yes, High, High Tea. We drink infused cannabis teas, and there is a multitude of things that transpire within that event. We break into groups, and we learn about the endocannabinoid system, which is why the individuals that are responsible with their cannabis consumption have seen major health benefits and a shift in their life, because they understand how their endocannabinoid system works with cannabis. And I'm not going to get all techie here.
Right.
I'm not going to.
There's a class you guys can take with
it sure is.
Yogi
That's
Michelle.
what the lounge is for. So there's classes like that. There are classes within that high tea event that focus on herbs and essential oils and all these natural things that we have that are accessible to us, but that most people don't use because they either deem that it costs too much or they deem that it's too time consuming to make. But what I will say is you're going to always be able to get what you need in a quick, cheap, easy route by going to the store and picking it off the shelf. That's fine if that works for you. If you want to go the speedy route, so be it. I am all about supporting small local businesses, individuals that take time creating products and services. That's what I stand on. That's my foundation. So individuals like yourself and some of the other queens that actually participated in high tea, these are women that live in this lifestyle on a daily basis.
Right.
They are dedicated to the holistic healing aspects. Right. And I just brought all of that in. and opened it up to other women that wanted to take part in that. So that is an annual event. We typically do that in September. If you check out any of my social media platforms or even YouTube as well, there's some videos. My website will go live on January 1st, and there's a clip there as well. It is that is definitely an annual event that is not to be missed by women at all.
I'm telling you guys, it is not to be missed. So if you missed it last year, this past September,
Yeah.
you guys get to check out the recaps. You can go to Bambuda Lounge's pages, check out the recaps, YouTube as well, and see what that looks like for those of you who are kind of curious. And I'm going to continue
Absolutely.
to let you know if you guys are looking, because we met a few gals
Yeah.
that were kind of curious.
Absolutely.
And they didn't really know what that was about, but it was a place for them to actually check it out, try it out, and be among that community, which they think they may not have found outside of the Bambuda Lounge.
Exactly.
So, here they are having these thoughts and a space for them to go. They were so excited.
They were, and what I will tell you is the frequency in the room that day. I still get residual chills, if you will, from that. Because it lets me know that I am truly living in my life purpose. And not a lot of people take the time to figure out what their life purpose is. And then if they do, they may sway from it. I stand firm on my square, honey.
I love that.
I stand firm on my square.
Which is why we support you so much.
Thank you.
Because that's not a farce. It's not a farce, and we see it in action.
Yeah.
And there's no denying it. And it really truly does give us a safe space to come to say,
Absolutely.
I can be myself in all of what I am and what I choose to medicate with, and it's okay. There's not that stigma.
Correct.
You're not trying to hide and be ashamed of that. So it really is a space for you guys to open up for those of you who are cannabis users and do use it for a form of medication and self-medication in a way that kind of keeps you in a holistic arena.
Absolutely.
This is a space for you ladies to definitely come and embrace yourselves.
Yes.
Embrace yourselves and know that you are part of a bigger tribe.
And I will say, I don't want you guys to think, oh my God, this is totally a place for women. It is not.
Right.
This is a place for anyone that is 21 and up. Because
Except the high tea event.
Correct.
That's right.
The high tea event is just wrapped around women. It is me paying homage to women and the role that we play in society. But there are a multitude of other classes and events that we offer that men can come to as well. And they have their own healing journey as well. But I'm a woman, so I can only speak for what we do, right? But as far as the yoga classes that we have, Cannabis Yoga, we've had many men show up to that.
Yes.
They need to heal their minds, their bodies, and their
Absolutely.
spirits as well.
Absolutely.
We do paint therapy. We've had a multitude of gentlemen that show up for that as well to unleash their, creative juices, if you will. And Bud Appetit, which was a cannabis and cooking class that we did last December. Unfortunately, we're not having it this December, but it's coming soon. We've had gentlemen show up to that as well. So there's a place for everyone. People that are kind of curious, people that are on their holistic journey. There are even some individuals that come into the lounge and they have always used cannabis recreationally. I don't judge those people.
Right.
But what I will tell you is I will try to convert you so that you understand
Yes.
exactly what cannabis is doing for you.
Right.
And why not make it part of your regular regimen,
Right.
but instead of just recreationally, medicinally, how can this plant help you?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that's just a phenomenal concept. It's very unique. It's
you.
very original, and the same respect is very well needed because it's an alternative.
Absolutely.
And people have
just options.
Yeah, it's just options. People, you guys got to know and understand that you have options. These are your rights to find who you are and how you operate in this world as you've been given one life.
Absolutely.
You got to find your highest and best self. And, sometimes you're hindered, sometimes you're not. And it's your journey and it's your self-discovery.
Absolutely.
And Bambuda Lounge gives you a space to do that. Very happy to have you here, Kay.
Thank you.
I definitely want to let people know that it is in Stockton.
Yes, it is in Stockton.
And so people want to travel, that's okay.
They should travel. I've had people come as far as the Brentwood area, Sacramento area, the Turlock area. And for the people that feel like, oh, Stockton is too far, okay, then that's fine. You can invest in your health elsewhere, right?
Yes.
But as I mentioned before, there needs to be a level of dedication and pride and non-laziness, if you will, with regards to your health. Because
yes.
if a doctor was to send you, if you, I don't know, you needed to go to
Physical
Sacramento,
therapy,
you live here,
or
exactly, you would make that trip.
Yes.
So I'm not knocking on anybody's door to lure them into my space. Mm-hmm. The individuals that are coming to my space is because they want to be there.
And they're investing in
so
themselves.
whatever price that you pay, whether it's time, money, and energy, because there are individuals that unfortunately need to, check all of those 3 boxes to get to my lounge, they do that. Mm-hmm. But what I will tell you is when you leave, this sense of ownership and responsibility that you have taken for your health will stay with you. And this is not a one-time thing. If you choose to come back, which I hope you do, so be it. But if not, when you leave out of that door, you're going to definitely walk away with a different frequency and a life experience that you have that you can lean on when you feel like you need to be in a more homeostasis place.
Yes.
So.
Well, I think it's absolutely amazing what you're doing. I want to thank you for bringing that and letting me be a part of that, letting you know Monet be a part of that. Absolutely. And is there anything you would like to tell them, anything that we might have missed? Upcoming events.
Yes, I do have that. And you guys are going to have to excuse me because I had to write this down on paper because I was not going to miss a beat. So once again, social media platforms, Facebook is Bambuddha Lounge 209. That is BAMBUDDHA Lounge 209. That is Facebook. And then Bambuddha Lounge on Instagram and YouTube. We have a few events that are coming up on Sunday, January 5th. We have Cannabis Yoga, which is a combination of an elevated yoga experience, if you will. You are going to consume, if you wish to, and then go on a yoga journey. And that is brought to you by Yogi Michelle. Sunday, January 12th, we have paint therapy. We have Queen Crystal, who will actually be leading the instructing on that. I'm not going to tell you just yet what she's going to be painting. You got to tune into my social media to get that information. We're not going to drop that right here. And then we have on Sunday, January 26th, we have a detox and cleanse workshop. That workshop is actually being held with 2 queens of mine. That is Queen Simone and Queen Osiris. And they will be talking about how to detox yourself and cleanse yourself with herbs, natural minerals and bath salts and essential oils. So there's an array of things that are happening in January. The last thing that I want to mention is Saturday, February 15th. For all you lovebirds out there and the individuals that maybe want to even stay away from Valentine's Day, this is an event that I have co-produced with Queen Kitten. It is a sexy sip and paint erotic showcase. A lot of you guys have maybe experienced sip and paint before. This will be like no other. So watch out for that. And once again, that is Saturday, February 15th. The last thing that I wanted to mention is once again, January 1st, the website will go live, and that is bambuddhalounge.org, not .com. We are an organization. I do this together. Once again, bambuddhalounge.org, and that will go live on January 1st.
Lounge.org. Yes. Okay, so bambuddhalounge.org is where you guys are going to get more information come Janury 1st on the launch of the website. That's going to be dope.
The website is amazing.
I can only imagine.
It's amazing.
I can only imagine because everything that you do is absolutely phenomenal. I'm just going to say. You guys will get the highest caliber of professionalism with Lara and anything you do with the Bambuddha Lounge. So hats off to you, my lady. You're absolutely phenomenal queen. I want to thank you so much for what you're bringing to the world, what you're bringing to Stockton, to the Valley, the healing, the knowledge, the understanding, the practice.
Yes, it is a
Literally,
practice.
it is a practice. You can say it and think it all day and read about it, but it is a practice. And having that in one's life.
Yes.
So the fact that people in the area have an opportunity to even have that minds open to alternatives and a place to go for holistic healing,
Yes.
is the ultimate. It's the ultimate experience in life that people
It
can
is a
have.
hell of an experience.
So thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, you guys, that has been our time with Kay Lara, owner of Bam Buddha Lounge. Let's continue to support her.
That was
Let's,
my juju, y'all.
Yes.
Y'all got it now.
Continue to support her, tap in with her, share this with your friends, your family, anybody that you know could benefit from all of these resources, all of these activities and experiences. And if you guys are looking to know more and want to know more, tap in, and she's going to be available in those
always
spaces.
available.
So thank you
Absolutely.
guys for tuning in, and you guys have the information in the comments below. If you have any questions, you can reach out to Bam Buddha Lounge on Instagram, Facebook, and soon their website. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
And we're going to go ahead